All right, gang. Welcome to Riser's Treasure Hunting Emporium's live stream. Yeah, gang. It's early in the morning. Well, not that early. It's 11 o'clock. It seems early. Anyway, what we have here, we have an auction that has a good variety of stuff, including some strange stuff, which we'll get to in a little bit. But anyway, I don't know how long this is going to be. It's been a while since we've actually have had a good auction on this site. I mean, as far as their site, and they came across actually several of them today. It's like, all right, you guys kind of played it soft over the July 4th weekend, and now whammo! There's about 3 or 4 different auctions going on today simultaneously. There's a charity auction going on in Mount Kisco, New York. Has a lot of very nice artsy fartsy stuff, and I'm about the artsy fartsy stuff, but at the same time, it takes a whole lot of research, and I didn't really have that much time to delve too much into it, with the exception of one piece. There is a I believe it's a copy. I don't think it's the original. I think it's a copy, but an old copy of Ambrose Sicard's Last Will and Testament. Now, he is actually one of the founding fathers of New Rochelle, New York, uh, settled by the French immigrants way back when. But anyway, I believe he died in 1712. So he was there through the late 17th century going into the 18th century. But anyway, is I don't know. That one piece just isn't enough to keep me. And as when I was actually looking at it, I did not have enough time to actually get too much into it. And now this current auction that we're watching, I guess we're going to get started here. I am registered to bid. However, I do not have the actual time to go collect it. So, with that, what I'm thinking about doing, I'll make time if prices go crazy cheap. Yeah, if prices go crazy cheap, I'll participate. If not, then again, it's the experience. We get education from this. We can see, basically what prices are going for. You guys are going to see some of the cast iron pans just going bonkers. And we're actually attending an auction this upcoming Saturday where there is Uber cast iron pans. And but anyway, so it's all about education, trying to get your benchmarks, trying to get your comps. Always do your comps. Never overpay for anything unless you want it. But anyway, so we got our comps ready for this one. He's going to start talking about this. What's this going on? Antique Wagner. I don't know. Cast iron. These are what? Bunt pans? But anyway, we're going to talk over some of this because, again, the going back to what I was saying earlier about the Mount Kisco auction, charity auction had a nice plethora of a variety of high-end antiques, and I'm sure there's a market for it. There's a market for everything, but it would have tied up a whole lot of money for something that'd be sitting on for a year or two. And anyway, so we had that auction going on today. Also, today, there is a toy auction out of Long Island, Lynn something, Lynn Brook. How about that? Maybe. Nice toy auction. However, there's no bargains to be had. He's starting everything with a pretty high relative price. So, But anyway, that also too, it involved driving on the Long Island Expressway, and that's suicide. But anyway, just ask Terry Chapin, unfortunately. But anyway, I tell you, one singer that should have lived right there is Harry Chapin. I don't know. Anyway, so going back to that, yeah, there was actually some nice Erdal, some Tonka. There was Mark's Toys in the box. Oh, in the box. And but unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any deals to be had. That auction is basically focused around the collector, so there probably won't be any surprise deals there to be had. But got that going on today, and that's about. This is when I hit this auction here. This is Bodner's, and when I hit this one here, I actually stopped. I thought the materials are intriguing. I thought there's a nice kind of it has a nice grouping of different types of antiques, collectibles, and all sorts of junk. So this is going to be a little bit of a higher end, and at the same time, I don't think it's going to be beyond reproach unless you're into some of these cast iron frying pans and cast iron cookware. Some of the things there's a piece here pre-bid that's already up to $725, and I must know why. And but I'm looking at it, and I'm sure everybody has their thing. And I was quite amazed. It's a Griswold cast iron pan, and you're already up to $725. I don't know, but yes, indeed, I must find out why. So, with that, I do believe this guy's giving all the rules and regs of the auction, and because lot one hasn't even started yet, but he's telling you how to buy. If you buy, you've got to buy. You got to pick it up. If you don't pick it up, you're going to be charged. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, but I mean they're important, And I have to admit, some of the stuff for this auction didn't seem like it popped up as far as what to do, when to collect, and they send you a link. They give you a link. You have to set up an appointment to come pick up your stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like. That way they got the stuff prepped if you have multiple lots, and yeah, you're not waiting around for hours. And years and years and years ago, I was at an auction. Checking out was the world's worst thing. I mean, it was probably in half an hour or so better the wait in line to get checked out. And I thought, this is after standing all day, after being out in the weather, and yeah, I just thought there's got to be a better way. But kudos to them. This seems to be better. And except the only thing I kind of don't like is I don't know if they had a actual preview or not. And I would like to read up more on them and kind of see what kind of business they're doing. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a full-blown review of these folks. But so far, so good. And I believe they are also doing it simulcast on a couple of different sites. So anyway, we're 8 minutes into it, and we're still lot one. We could turn them on for a little bit, but we just may. But and I could also too remember there was an auction I went to years ago. I believe it was in Delaware, where it was just complete chaos. So you'd buy the item, you were the successful bidder. You'd buy the item, you'd haul it off, and they were very trustworthy. Of course, that was 25 years ago or so. Oh, don't do the math. And so you were a successful bidder, and you could just willy-nilly take up the item and go put it in your car or whatever, and then come back, bid some more, and etc. And then I guess it was the honesty system. You went and paid your bill at the end. I don't know. I don't think that would work in today's society. I think that would just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see. You know what? Let's see what he's saying. Let's see what he sounds like. Oh, I've been watching some of the before that. I've been watching some of the car auctions on YouTube. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to, I guess I will a little bit. I love his car auction. Some of his other videos I'm kind of undecided about, but I do and am loving his car auction videos out in the Midwest. On YouTube, check out Mr. Good Pliers. He's got some antique and vintage and classic car auctions from the Midwest, from like Kansas and Indiana and etc. That type of Midwest. And so far, so good. I really am digging his car auction videos. And oh my goodness, good thing I do not live in that area. I'd have yard art, car yard art. I'm sure Sandy would love that. But anyway, let's check out, see what this guy is saying. Maybe.
One seventy, 160, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 160, 170, 160, 170, 160, 170, 160, 160, 160 bid $170 going once. 170, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 170, 180, 180, 170, 180, 170, 180, 170, 180 going once. 170 bid $180 going twice. Last call. Sold $170. Buyer number 100. Buyer number 100. If you're listening to the sale, just so you know, because I always get this question, buyer 100 is about 500 people over on Live Auctioneers. Buyer number 200 is another 500 people over on Invaluable. Buyer 300 is Bid Spirit, and then we use a couple other numbers that are absentee bids. So if you keep hearing buyer 100, it's not the same person. It's multiple people on those platforms. It's just for us. Okay, what do we got?
Okay, lot number 2, we have antique cast iron patty molds. We have Griswolds and original boxes with terrific inner advertisements. Then we have, includes one recipe instruction booklet.
20 now, 5, pocket about 20, pocket about 25, 20 number 20, pocket about 20, pocket about 20, pocket about 25, 20 number 25, 20 number 25, 20 knock about 20, pocket about 20, pocket about 25, 20 number 25, 20 number 25. Well, knock these are actually kind of cool, guys. 20 pocket about 20, 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 pocket about 30 double, 30 double, 30 double.
Well, anyway, there you have it. Yeah, you got some the auction chatter going on, and he's making some deals there. And we'll try and position this up here so I can actually see what's going on. But yeah, as I said before, we have no intentions of bidding. We are registered to bid, but you know, we kind of won't let things go cheap. But as you can see so far, those bump pans, what'd they go for? $180? That I love it, but at the same time, I want to know why. I want to know why. And as you can see, these now, and don't get me wrong, I understand that people collect them. I understand that these are. I won't say they are not any longer made, because they are still made actually, but still the collector value I just don't understand. But that's all what life is all about, trying to learn something new. And this is really could be a crash course, because I'm not going to wind up buying all the cast iron I see this weekend. Just refuse. Maybe a couple pieces, but they move right along. They don't fool around. And it's hard for me to gauge whether these are bargains or not. These could be actually being sold for cheap. We just don't know. But things we got coming up. I should go back. I should try to find what my lot numbers are. I should have wrote them down, but I did not. Specific lots that we are watching. Should we let the cat out of the bag? There's actually 2 units that embalming machines, antique Victorian embalming machines. And there's 2 of them. And believe it or not, I did not realize what, besides the macabre, I didn't realize what the collector value of those were. They are actually, strangely, quite collectible and do command a halfway decent price. So I thought to myself, if they go cheap enough, we're gonna get both, if not possible. And I think they'd sell well. And hashtag creepy. And but anyway. What are they selling now? Brownie pans, cast iron. Right now it's up to $150 for, well, 4 brownie pans. What else we got? We got some bubblegum machines coming up. One I'd really would love to get my hands on. What kind is it? It is a master, and that's the name of it, master. But anyway, 1 cent bubblegum machine. There's I think 3, 4, or 5 different oak bubblegum machines on there, and I forget what else. There were no Fords. Corn stick, cast iron corn stick pans. I am just amazed. And so far, this guy, I think he does well with his auction chatter. We're going to put him back on just for a little bit more, just to listen to him a little bit. And
$40 going once, $130 going twice. Last call. Sold $130. Buyer number 100. Buyer number 100.
Okay, we have 4 antique cast iron baking pans. We have a bread pan number 4, a muffin number 8, French roll number 12, and a muffin number 6.
Boy, I really want some bread and butter right now after all this. 200, get about 2 and a quarter, get about 2 and a quarter, get about 225, get about 200, get about 225, 200, get about 225, get about 200, get about 225, get about 200, get about 225, 200, get about 225, get about 200, get about 225, get about 200, get about 225 going once, 200, get about 225 going twice. Last call. Over $200. Buyer number 100. Buyer number 100.
Okay, here we go. We have an antique cast iron Griswold loaf pan with cover.
current bid $3,000. Cast iron Griswold loaf pan with cover. What is going on? I want to know.
3250, get about 3,000, get about 3250, 3,000, get about 3250, 3,000, get about 3250, get about 3250, get about 3250, get about 3,000, now we're get about 3250, 3,000, get about 3250, get about 3,000, get about 3250 going once, 3,000, get about 3250 going twice. Last call. Sold for $3,000. Buyer number 100. Buyer number 100.
Okay, we have an antique cast iron Griswold double skill.
All right, that was kind of funny. They had the little had computerized applaud and cheering and etc. $3,000 for that thing, for a cast iron pan bread thing, and I just don't know. I'm missing out on something, but got to read up on them. Just got to read up on them, especially with this. I got to go back. Got to see if this upcoming Saturday there is a one of those bread skillet pan things. Yes, I don't know, but it's just amazing. By the way, all right, little critique of our auctioneer. I'm liking him so far. He is not begging for bids. He's letting the product sell itself. He spends, I think, a good amount of time on it. I don't think he's rushing it. I think he has a good pace. And yeah, I don't have anything poor to say about him or the setup. And I did not know how their live thing back here. And I think this is actually a very nice setup. You know, I mean, we are getting back to him. He's just not a ghost or a voice in the background. And the item gets replaced with what he's selling. And I'm liking it. I'm digging it. So pickup for them is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, which I thought was only, and Monday. Wait a minute, let's read this again. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday only. See, I thought it was only Friday, Saturday, Monday. Monday would have been no-go. Saturday's a no-go. Friday I thought was iffy, but probably not. But now that Thursday's in there, that's a horse of a different color. Anyway, we'll put this back. Oh, actually, let's hear a little bit more of his chatter.
90 bit, 100 bit, 100 bit, 190 bit, 100 bit, 110, 100 bit, 110, 110, 110, 110, 100 bit, 110, 120, 120, 120, 120, 120, 120, 130, 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 130, 140, 140.
All right, enough of that. But anyway, you know what, this guy though, auctioneer, to be an auctioneer, are you going home at the end of the day and just kind of vegging and not wanting to talk to anybody? Have you been talked out by the end of your day? The one auction we attend over in East Earl, Pennsylvania, which is near Morgantown, they switch off. They will auction off for an hour or two and then switch out with somebody else, and then they come back, whatever. But I imagine it takes a lot. How do they not hyperventilate? That's what I want to know. But yeah, the one over in East Earl or Morgantown area, oh my goodness, I just figure and that auction is long. Without exaggeration, I bet we were there. It probably kicked off about 7:30, and they have 3 or 4 different auctioneers throughout the area. But I remember their Black Friday auctions. I can remember being there 4 in.the morning and not leaving until well past 7 o'clock in the evening, which made for a long day. And but that was a special auction. That's when they just have specifically on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And their normal auctions, don't last that long. I think their normal auction, that's not their special sale. I think we were there probably it probably started 7 or 8 in the morning, and I think by 3 o'clock it was all done. But long day. And these poor guys just continuing with the auction chatter and trying to be somewhat personable, and I don't know, it must be a draining thing, but they do it. And $275, and there it went. Now you got your chance on this one. And this one's up to $425. And cast iron Griswold tight top Dutch oven, number 11. Is there a pricing guide for these? I don't know, but would love to learn more about them. Not that I want to make it a specialty or anything. I just find it intriguing. I want to go to a collector and just look at them point blank in the eye and go, how did you start collecting cast iron pans? Would really like to know. I wonder if that could be a thing for the stream. Delve into the world of individual passionate collectors. Rubber bands. How did you start collecting rubber bands? Why did you just pay $2 million for this rubber band? What makes this rubber band so unique and different from the other rubber bands? I don't know. It might be a good concept. Pans. This doesn't look cast iron, but it is. Griddle. Who doesn't need a griddle? That didn't last long. $90. Oh, 100, 110. I often too wondered, is it good business to do the estimates? I see on some things the estimates, just not this particular auction, but on different auctions, they will do some weird things with the estimates. They'll just be so far out of the realm of possibility. But then at the same time, I think a lot of, maybe it makes you feel like you got a good deal if they lowball the estimates. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between whether you actually want to see what the estimates are or not, or I don't know. I'm going to have to actually chat around that a little bit, because I don't mind it being there. It doesn't really mean anything, because something's only worth as much as somebody's willing to pay for it. Which, again, if we can get, as we're looking at the cast iron pans, why? But anyway, this is another skillet. Yes, griddle. Yeah. And relatively, compared to the other cast iron we've seen, that actually is not going for all that much money. They do have some of this stuff grouped together, unfortunately. So it's going to be cast iron pans out the yin yang for a little bit, which is good and bad. I mean, if you're all about cast iron pans, you want to see them all in one shot. You don't want to be bothered with seeing a embalming equipment mixed in with the cast iron pans. Just somehow that doesn't flow. I'm trying to think now which lot numbers they are. I should write them down real quick. That's what I should do, maybe. But like I said, I really I can't get a way to go collect this stuff without disturbing something else in the schedule. So it's fine. It's okay. If we miss it, we miss it. There will be more stuff coming down the road. But yeah, if they try to be sold for dirt cheap, we'll jump in there. What is it? It's another griddle, but with a handle. I like cast iron pans. Used to own several. Used to actually use them. Don't know anything about cleaning and seasoning them. We're talking about ones you actually use. And I also see on YouTube too, people doing restos on cast iron, and they'll take these rusty old looking things that look like they're ready for the scrap heap, and turn them actually back into usable cast iron frying pans. I do find that fascinating. I don't know why. Even though I like rust, you'd figure I'd be all about the rusty cast iron. What is that? That is a Griswold cast iron kernel colonial breakfast skillet. Well, how about that? It's like a colonial McDonald's breakfast tray. Instead of styrofoam, it's cast iron. Right now, that's up to $110. Can you believe it? It's up to $250. $275. So you figure 100.5 a piece. You just keep on climbing. $175 a piece. Wow. And we're going to scroll up here on my little portable gadget and see where we are at with frying pans. Oh, there's only a 30, 40, about 35 more lots of cast iron. So we're actually going to listen to him a little bit more, do his little auctioneering thing, and maybe, and we won't be too far.
800 to 800 to 800 to 775 to 800 to 800 to 775 bid 800 going once. You're not going to see it again, guys. Very, very rare, especially in the condition that it's in. 775, 800, 8.25, 8.5, 825 to 850. Do it again. One more time. 850. Where do you find them, ladies and gentlemen? There's some very rare pieces here. This is one of them. You're not going to find another one, guy. Very difficult to find. 8.25 bid 8.5. 825 to 850 to 825 to 850 to 825 bid 850 going once. 825 to 850 going twice. Last call. $825. Buyer number 100. Buyer number 100. Thank you all for bidding.
Okay, line number 27. We have 4 antique Griswold cast iron Erie logo skillet pans. We have a number 6, a number 8, 704E with a nickel finish. We have a number 8, 732, and a number 9.
We got 500, 5.25, 5.5, 5.25, get about 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.25 bid 5.5, 5.5, 5.25 bid 5.5, 5.25 bid 5.5, 5.5, 5.25 bid 5.5, 5.25 bid 5.5. 525, get about 5, get about 5, get about 5, 25, get about 550. 525, get about 5, get about 5, get about 5, 25 bid 550 going once.
I tell you, anyway, I don't dare pop over to the other auction. I wonder if I can open the other auction in another window. That way we can actually switch back and forth between the two of them. That would be kind of neat. Can we do multi screen shares on this program? Maybe. No. That might be something I have to experiment with. Because I could, on the other computer, have it on the other computer and bring the other computer up as a guest. That's scary. We're gonna try that. All right, so this just became a test. More cast iron, only 30 or so more lots to go. Current bid, $575. Thou shalt not keep clicking. You're only going to confuse the computer. I think it'll work. Wow. Okay. So if you were in with me earlier, this turned into a test while I'm waiting for the auction to get past all the cast iron. But I kind of had this idea whether I could stream two separate auctions going on at the same time. And I think we can, which is scary. That's a nice little cast iron lot. Okay, so I don't think I can do that. I lose if I add to stage this other auction. I lose the one I'm currently watching. There's got to be a way. Gotta be a way. But that'll be something to work out later, I guess. But actually, I'm going to have this other auction up on the other screen. And so we can kind of pay attention to both, I guess, and multitask at the stage. And we'll kind of we'll monitor the other one. If there's anything of significance, I'll give you a shout out. I'll yell it out there. But there's got to be a way to do that. It's got to be a way to have both of those at the same time. But anyway, more cast iron. Just when you thought you could not possibly have enough cast iron in your life, you're just missing out. Lot 36. And I think the first even, if I scroll up, am I going to lose this? Hope not. Let's see where our first lot is. 92. So anyway, we got a ways to go. We're going to be here all day. And by the way, that real expensive $3,000 piece Griswold loaf pan. Got to read up on them. Got to find out why. Just why. Yeah, after we hit lot 92, which is roughly 80 or so lots away, we start hitting some of the bubblegum machines. And actually, lot 92 is actually a gaming wheel that we're kind of interested in. And so we'll keep an eye on it. Meanwhile, at Mount Kisco, they just looks like they just sold a mirror. Vintage wooden frame Victorian wall mirror. And stuff's going cheap. I should have registered a bid on it there. Right now, they're at lot number 218. Handcrafted wooden parrot sculpture, 25 inches tall. And it'll say if it's signed or not or whatever. See, I didn't do any kind of research for those fine folks. You know what? I wonder if I can get all of this back if I jump out and jump back in. After all, I do have this auction on my phone. So, that's not right. So, we'll be able to monitor it. Yeah. We'll be able to see what's going on. All right, so what we want to do, we'll switch back and forth. Let's, we got that one going on, and we're going to go up and click on it. All right, that leaves me what with you guys? Oh. More cast iron. What did I say? 90? All right, we can do this. Boom. Now we got other stuff to look at. Vintage wood ornate cherub candlesticks, Italy. Gaudy. Gaudy is in. Really, has Gaudy ever been out? Right now, they're at 450. And you know what? I like this screen better. This one over here is so much bigger. Can I even read that without my glasses? Yep, can. No, yeah, it's blurry, but I can. And gaudy. Pair of gilt-framed vintage portrait lithographs, meaning early reproductions. And gotta be really careful when that word's thrown into something. You're going to see that several times in this auction where they are signed lithographs, okay? Meaning they are duplicates, copies, but they are indeed signed by the artist. Typically, they would be numbered. I don't know if the piece in here is numbered or not. It's a very nice piece. Gordon, I believe, is the name of the artist. He does a lot of maritime and nautical artwork. And that was something else I did see in this auction, but it's bad enough. This auction, the other auction with all the cast iron presently, is going on. But at the same time, the one in Mount Kisco is probably about an hour further than what this one is. But it's just a bit far. And that I would have a problem selling that piece by Gordon because I would want it. It's depicted the sailors in a storm. And it was, I thought it was a very nice piece. And some of the edges, not the lithograph itself, but the matting edges was kind of but the piece in whole I thought was still nice and presentable. But again, I see that's the thing about being a dealer collector, because I wouldn't want to sell it. But vintage pair of gilt metal candlesticks. There you have it, 7.5 inches tall. And they are brass, I believe. That did not stay up very long. It was up there long enough for me to read it. I wonder if they're just like breezing by. If there's no bid, they just I don't know. Modernist sculpture. Somebody wanted it. I don't think they say who the artist is. Abstract sculpture. It looked like it belonged on the front end of a Buick. A hooder ornament. Vintage cast metal boot figure planter. You can get yourself a Tiffany & Company Swiss brass 8-day table clock. Sold and gone. Fisk. So say Fisk was pretty hot there for a while. That's actually, I think, relatively cheap. $60. Roger Lurzy. Signed number abstract lithograph. See, there you have it. Diamond and Murata custom leather Chesterfield sofa. Big, heavy furniture. Right now it's got a bid of $2. Is it going to stay $2? Maybe. Big, heavy. And it passed. Don't know what that is. It's illustrated 1826. Missal Romanum Latin manuscript. Rare religious bound manuscript. Illustrated leather and velvet bound. Covers are bound in red velvet, brass latches and ornaments, and crest on cover. Well, didn't get through it. Darn it. That was kind of neat. Pearl. Who needs a pearl? $30. 40. Nope, they've got some interest in it. 50. This must be live too. I see a paddle number. Like live in person. It's amazing, really. You figure 40 years ago, you had to be live in person at an auction, really. I mean, they still had phone auctions back there for some of the higher end, Sotheby's or whatnot. But still, I mean, anybody, anywheres around the world can look at an auction now and bid and participate with the internet. When we had the advent of eBay, which has been around for how long now? Uber years. And for an example, we were watching an auction in in Australia. One night I could not sleep. I went to bed early. That was the problem, I think. I went to bed and the body went, haha, just kidding. That was a nap. And so I went to bed at 9, woke up at 10, and I was like, well, we're awake. What are we doing? And I was like, well, I can't work because there's just nothing going on. And then I thought to myself, this is the age of technology. Where's midday now? And of course, also 2 places struck in mind, Japan and Australia. So I started looking up first the Japanese auctions, which were fun to watch and fun to listen to because it was like a kung fu movie with nobody fighting. And yeah, and it was quite entertaining, that needless to say. But there was actually a coin auction going on. For us, it was 10 o'clock p.m. here in the East, and they were actually, there was a lot of American coins, now I think about it, in there too. But it was neat to watch. Then I switched over to Australia, and Australia, some of their, I don't know the name of the auction I was watching. Where did I find that one? I didn't find that one on Auction Zip. I found that one on a different site, which I don't remember off the top of my head. But it was in Australia, and it was actually quite entertaining. Now the problem was I did want to bid on some stuff. There was a not gonna remember, a ring. What was the ring that had the stuff that the dinosaur DNA was in from the Jurassic Park movies? Amber. There was an amber ring, and it was nice. It was okay. It is sold for cheap. And it was also too about that auction I was watching. It did the conversions automatically. It gave you what it would have been in Australian money versus the US dollar. So the ring was only, I think, $15-20, which I think was a bargain. But to ship it here would have been $30-35. So, and there was a couple of things like that. I also saw a Easter Island statue figurine, which sold very cheaply. It sold for only like $20-25, but again, the shipping would have been about $30. So you kind of, you got to weigh that kind of stuff in. But I have to admit, both those things would have been things that they were for me. They weren't so much to resell. And but fun to watch and fun to see what things are going for monetarily wise over there versus here. And I don't know, I kind of liked the educational aspect of it. Now I don't know what their laws are, but they were selling some things that were illegal to sell here. Some of the more, I don't know what you want to call it, the preservationist stuff. Also, too, they did have some artifacts, native artifacts of Australia. They were neat. And, but anyway, so not only can you watch auctions from all over the world, you can, I tell you, you feel like buying something from New Zealand, bang, you have the opportunity to do so. Oh, hey, we're off of cast iron, so we're going to switch over. And a lot of phones. We're phone related type stuff. And decor, because you're actually not going to use it. Who has a landline anymore? Show of hands. And all right, I was going to say I was going to have to start bidding, but no, now it's moving. Who has a landline anymore? Sometimes when you're filling out a form, every now and again, they'll ask for a home phone number. Who has one of those anymore? Current bid, $40, 50, 60. Okay. I was like, well, we're going to have to start bidding on these. Not 60. For the shop, I'd probably sell those $70 a piece, maybe. More phones. Lot of 2 vintage rotary telephones. Over in Mount Kisco, they got a vintage taxidermy pheasant display. That's right, a pheasant, stuffed pheasant. It sounds pretty good right about now. Let's have some stuffed pheasant. A little bit of cranberry sauce and yep. $5. Stuffed pheasant. Looks like it's going to sell for $5. No, never mind. Shot up to 8, 10, 15, 20. She's going up now. Anyway, back to the phones. Phones are a current bid of 60. It's a lot of 3 vintage rotary telephone. Something gives me the idea that we're not going to find bargains over here. Current bid for the phones, $100. And is taxidermy scary? I think it is. Is it scarier than dolls? That might be a debate for a different stream. Current bid for this phone is $80. So far for this auction, I've not bid on anything. Prices are actually pretty spiffy. For the personal collector, you're getting a little bit of a bargain. For dealers, it seems like there's room there to make money, but not a killing. So it's actually a decent spread. And I think the only thing I did have the phones under the watch list there. I did do a couple of comps for the phones. I just don't want to go too heavy on any one particular item. Riverdale Coins and Antiquities. Hi. How are you? And we're buying a little bit of everything. I tell you, we tried to do 2 auctions at the same time, simulcast with the share screen thing, but I just couldn't get it to work. That would have been neat. But can those phones be wired for a modern jack? Yep. Do you still have a landline? And landline seems like it's about to be a thing of the past. Art Deco. Man, Art Deco used to be hopping. I don't know if it still has the same appeal as it once did. We have an internet VoIP landline, so in a way, we do. I can't remember the last time it was I had a landline. Nope, can't. Oh, happy summer to you, mister. And I did see you were online yesterday. I see you did a nickel hunt, I guess. Had the grandkids down to the beach. Oh, no secret. What are you buying at these auctions? Anything that can turn the emporium a profit. How about that? The only danger is there. Sometimes I'll buy for myself, which, yeah. And yeah. Actually, I was yammering on at an auction in Mount Kisco, New York. It's a charity auction. They will be auctioning off the last will and testament of Ambrose Sicard, who was one of the founding fathers of New Rochelle. And I don't know. That's I thought it was kind of neat. Wouldn't it be neat to buy that if it goes cheap? Wouldn't it be neat to buy that and like donate it to the historical society or something? Then wouldn't it be funny if like the historical society is the one who donated it to the charity auction? I don't know. But anyway, that's over in that auction in it's called the Red Carpet Auction, the Benefit Shop Foundation, whatever that might be. But no, we're buying everything. We got a couple of things that are upcoming that we're going to be looking at. I did have a quasi interest in the phones if they went cheap, but they're not going cheap. Upcoming is a gaming wheel. The kind that you would spend. Yes. And then after that, there is some coin op machines. And after that, there's some embalming equipment. And after that, there's kind of a miscellaneous, really. If only they would auction William Kidd's journal and treasure map. Absolutely. We'd be on that. No. Are these items within driving distance to you? Yeah, actually, both of these auctions that was kind of scoping out, Mount Kisco, New York is probably 2.5 hours away. The one that's currently on the screen is approximately an hour and a half. The one on the top of the screen, or actually on this screen that's on the channel, is Monmouth Junction, which is just slightly north of Princeton. So for us, it's a basically interstate to get up there. If I recall, Mount Kisco is a rather affluent town. That it is. There's also the other town that is right next to it, which is also very affluent. Mount Kisco and Cata something, not Catamount, not going to remember, but it begins with cat something. And years ago, about a decade ago, I got to stop doing that. About a decade ago, we saw Sarah Jessica Parker in Cata something. No, not Scarsdale. Well, Scarsdale's affluent too. Westchester County is affluent. There you go. How about that? We can actually just, but Cata something. I can't remember the name of that town. Nope, can't do it. But yeah, Mount Kisco, nice little town. Vintage camera lot and accessories. Yeah, if I was to guess, people are looking at more of the accessories than they are the cameras. The cameras are kind of but the accessories with the boxes. Did you find anything with your nickel hunt yesterday? Lot 63, group lot of vintage 35 millimeter cameras. You would be surprised at some of the prices that this commands, even cameras that are 40 or 50 years old. I think one of these is a Monica. I found 3 Buffalo nickels that were pretty scarce. Awesome. Do they have dates? Obviously they did. That's why you knew they were scarce. Lot 64, group lot of 7 Polaroid land cameras. Current bid, $50. You figure even at a bid of $70, that's $10 per. There you go. I think that was a bargain. Group lot of 5 Polaroid land cameras. All looks like with their cases, one with a box. And another bargain in the making. Lot 66, group lot, 6 Polaroid land cameras. We got 1, 2 with the box, and then you got 3 others with cases and 1 out by itself. $40. Cases sometimes are more valuable than the boxes. Sometimes it depends if it's the original Polaroid case or not. Bargain. This is lot 67, group of 4 Antiques box cameras. Current bid is $110. Not a surprise with the one down there with the glass frames. Before film glass. And they're neat. But we're going to turn this guy on just for a few seconds. Just maybe. Just to hear a little bit of the auction patter.
120, bid 130. 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 130, 120, 130, 130, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 130, 140, 130, get above 140, get above 140, get above 140, get above 130, get above 140, get above 140, get above 130, get above 140, get above 130, get above 140, get above 130, get above 140, going once. 130, get above 140, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150, 150. Come on, now. Another $10. 150, 140, get above 150, get above 150, get above 150, get above 140, get above 150, get above 150, get above 140, get above 150, going once. 160, 160, 160, 150, 160, 150, 160, 160, 150, 160, 150, 160, 150, 160, 150, 160, going once. 150 to $160 going twice. Last call. $150. Buyer number 300. Buyer number 300.
Okay, group lot of visual related items. We have a hand.
Neat stuff. Lot 69, group lot of visual related items. See, binoculars. And the viewer down there, and some of the viewer cards, depending on their content, can be quite collectible. How can they do that all day long? I always wondered how can they keep up that cadence and that all day long? You know, when they go home at the end of the day, do they just remain silent? Then they go, I'm all talked out. Don't say anything to me because I'm not responding. I don't know. It seems like it would be extremely exhausting. Antique ball bearings. There you have it. And we got some bids in there. Who doesn't want some antique ball bearings? It's got a bid of currently $25. The higher end coin auctioneers are so dignified as they call out the bids. Yeah, as if they may break something at any moment. I thought this was rather impressive. Bells, sleigh bells, lot 71. Right now it's got a current bid of $225. I don't know. Earlier, I don't know if you were popping in or out or anything, but earlier they had cast iron pans out the yin yang. And to say that some of them were just obscene prices, to me, they're obscene. I'm sure to the collector, they were excited. They probably go home and say, hey, honey, hey, honey, hey, honey. I'd be like, well, actually, I do this in real life. If we're at an auction and I lost track of completely what he is saying, I will make him stop. I am ashamed to do that, but yes, because I actually have had one oopsies in regards to that, but I was saved because he went on to the auction pattern and he just jumped up and bid. I was like, no, that's not me. He says, I was at 50, and then somehow we wound up like at 100 and a quarter. And I don't know how that happened, but I didn't care because it went beyond that. But I was like, wow, that was really a close call. Maybe that should be your career 2.0. Get you an auctioneer's license. No, I think actually doing with the Emporium what I want to do is going to be 2.0. But the Emporium, yeah, that's right. That's going full blast. We are working at it. But anyways, but now I will stop the auctioneer and go, what is the price? And I did that once 4 weeks ago at an auction. I had no idea what he was saying, but I wanted the bid. So I actually made him stop, look at me, and say, give me the number. 40? Yes, thank you, 40. And then as soon as he did that, he went back to the pattern. But the funny part was once he looked back at me, he went, 50. So, which is fine because, hey, I can understand what you're saying. But sometimes I'll get lost in that pattern. It's salesmanship. It gets you cooked. It gets you into their cadence is used to get you in the habit of bidding. And you wave, you nod, you do whatever because they are looking at you and are rambling on 1,000 miles an hour. But it's salesmanship. But yeah, no, as far as conducting auctions, I don't think that's me. I don't think no. We'll sell the stuff. Hey, this one we were watching. This is a working antique pilot radio. TV, that's right, early TV. Just look how big that screen is. And can you imagine watching a screen that small? Now, this was on one of my hit lists where I said if it was going to go cheap enough, we would bid, but we are well beyond that. And actually, we're right about to hit on fair market price, right around 200, 2.25. Mark Thomas, how are you? And so how is the Emporium working? Are you going to sell on YouTube? We are going to be multifaceting sales. We're probably going to use YouTube. We are currently using eBay and Facebook Marketplace, but we will be also be utilizing YouTube in a different way. Tiny screen, but must have been technological magic back in the late 40s. You know it. Look at the little pictures. We can see them. Can they see us? And right now, that's about where it belongs. Like I said, 2.25 is probably about where it kind of goes. But now, as far as decor, I think it actually has a higher decor price than the collector value. Could you imagine trying to take that to the repair shop today? My TV's broken. The tubes, oh my goodness, the tubes are bringing serious money anymore. And people collect the tubes. That's a whole different area of collecting. But these were incomplete. These lot 75, they were kind of missing knobs. They're kind of a little bit banged up, weren't as nice as the other one. The other one they say was in working condition, which I don't know. Tell you. Wouldn't that be kind of neat though, being black and white and just it make the games more challenging. Of course, old buggers like me would need different glasses. Lot 76. Lot of antique and vintage radios. Current bid $30. There was a lot of vintage radios on here somewhere, so we were going to kind of keep an eye on. This isn't it though. You know, it's weird now that we're kind of talking about the technological advances of TVs and whatnot. When's the last time you saw static on a TV channel? Especially now with all the streaming, you never see static no more, or snow or fuzz, whatever you want to call it. Group lot of antique and vintage items. It looks like a speaker with 2 projectors. But I can't tell you the last time I saw snow or on TV, the static or whatever you want to call it. It's just not a thing anymore. Can we force TVs now to even show static? I am guessing the witch to that witch. And with digital, either you get a perfect picture or no picture. Yeah, I tell you, something that's gone by the wayside. Rib, they burnt those witches at the stake, hence why there's no more. Yes. Lot of 2 antique tube radios. That's very generic. And right now the current bid is $70. I did register to bid on this auction. I didn't want to. I tell you, we watched one that was near Altoona, Pennsylvania, that I should have been registered to buy. Things were so cheap, it would have made the trip out there worthwhile. Altoona, Pennsylvania, for us is about a 5-hour drive, 4.5 5 hours, and I anymore now. If I'm watching an auction, I will register to bid just in case. I won't let that opportunity slip by ever again, because wow, did things just go cheap? And so now, if I'm broadcasting an auction, or if I'm actually watching it, I will actually register to bid just to be on the safe side. Wait, they had TV back in Salem in 1692. Yes, they were witches, and but yeah, missed out big time on that auction. A lot of automotive stuff, a lot of signs, a lot of parts, a lot of, I mean, it was a wonderful auction, and things just went cheap. It can't hurt to register and put in a bid unless Sandy hits you with a softball bat. Yeah, she hasn't done that yet. Most of the time, I'm very hesitant to bid anyway. Because even with this auction, it's always got to be worth driving that hour and a half to go pick it up. But who knows? Rip, they've actually got embalming equipment coming up, which Victorian era embalming equipment. Nobody's still hooked up to it or anything, but that's coming up. I don't remember the lot numbers for it, but it should be coming up. And if it's cheap enough, oh yeah, wouldn't she be excited? Look, honey, happy anniversary! I got you an embalming machine. Lot 81, 1815 Holy Bible by the Reverend Matthew Henry. And right now, no bids. Riv, you'd be surprised at the collector value of the Victorian era embalming equipment. I did some price comps last night when I first saw this auction going on and was looking at price comps for other stuff. Some of the brands of embalming equipment of the Victorian era, probably about $300 to $400. It's just weird. I think $100 would put us in. There's two machines coming up. I don't remember the lot numbers off the top of my head. I have them screenshotted on my other thing here, but there's two of them coming up. One of them for sure is probably about $350 to $400 retail. The other one, I couldn't really find comps on it because it's more of an obscure brand, but it's of the same era. I would not hesitate to pay $100 for it. It just may happen. Then I tell Sandy, I'm going to be gone for several hours. I have to go up to Monmouth Junction to pick up, an embalming thing. It's actually on the list. I thought if it went cheap enough. Lot 94 is a gaming wheel that we're kind of looking for. And I got to figure out how I can get both of these auctions at the same time on the screen. We'll do it. We'll get it figured out. Because I'm also watching the auction over at Mount Kisco. And things are going relatively cheap. Here's just a group lot Group lot of antique items. Another generic thing. $15 for the whole lot. Current bid. And well, they're displaying lots of smalls there. Bubblegum machines should be coming up. The other odd ends of miscellaneous. Now that embalming kit can be provenance back to being used on Abe Lincoln. Then okay, can you imagine if it could? But of course, wasn't Lincoln embalmed several times? After his viewing or memorial, the Lincoln train thing, didn't they re-embalm him like after they initially viewed him, and then after his body traveled to New York, didn't they embalm him again? I don't know. Something strikes out in my mind about that, because I thought to myself, Lincoln's body, the physical body, not Lincoln, we don't think Lincoln was there, but that poor man. So he goes through all that process, gets shipped across the country by train, and gets viewed in different areas, blah, 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 blah. Then gets quasi stuck in the ground until a monument can be built. And then people try to steal him. I don't know. Lot 87, group lot of antique New Jersey. It should say registrations and licenses. There's also a hunting license in there and a fishing license, amongst other little miscellaneous. And I did do some price comps on those. They sell probably not as much as you might think, about $10 per. So, and they're a hard sell. I remember the people trying to kidnap his body. Mark Thomas, they wanted to sell his parts on eBay. I wonder if they had eBay like via teletype. No, I don't know. His beard would go for at least $10. And I'd get more than that. Lot 88, group lot of vintage glassware. Oh, glass. It breaks. And okay, all right. This is a figure, just kind of pretend wise. If you could own anything of Lincoln's, what would you own? That'd be weird, because you would have to provenance something. But let's just say if you own it and you didn't care about provenance, it'd be kind of neat. And something that does not get mentioned when they review the body, they viewed the body a couple of times in the late 1800s, and I think once in the 20th century, in the early part of the 20th century. And what was his son's name? Not Todd, Tad, or the one that lived into the 20th century. I can't think what that son's name was. Anyway, is this place in Monmouth Junction, New Jersey? Yes. And the coins over his eyes. Robert, thank you. After the burial, or after the whenever do the coins remain over the eyes, or do they remove them? That would kind of be a neat thing. Lot 89, group of lot of Coca-Cola items. We missed it. $90 inflatable Goodyear blimp with something. And wooden hand painted dinosaur. Well, that's a scary dinosaur. Lotto 2, U.S. American flags, including 48 star flag. I don't know. I think the coins would be neat. I mean, it would be so cliche to say about Lincoln's hat. You could buy a friend for clad the dino. He's actually behind me. There we are. Lot 92, Antique Folk Art Gaming Wheel of Chance. Current bid is at 50. Oh, do it. Okay, it's moving. Oh, it's moving. It's 24 inches, roughly 2 feet in diameter. I thought about this for a couple $100. I think probably 175 is the top out for this. So we're beyond, I think, with the thought process of it going cheap. Yeah, for 110, it sold for 110. I think that's a decent price. Again, these prices are midway. They're good for the dealer, good for the collector. The dealers still have a little bit of room. The collector is getting a bargain. Something of Lincoln's, maybe the pen he used to write the Gettysburg Address. Or was that written in pencil? I don't remember. But yeah, that would be neat. Group lot of Victorian clothing. Current bid $150. It looks a bit worn. No. Folk art bottle cap, twisted rope decoration. Wow, that was a lot of interest in that. Right now, it bids up to 160, 170. $80, $180. $190. Who would have thought? Right now, it's at a high estimate of $200. Unique menage a trois wine advertising in Ferris wheel. Okay, well, that's a little bit different. Could be yours. Current bid's $10. Not anymore. Now it's up to 100. But yes, indeed. Funny what folks will bid on. Absolutely. Military grade grenade case. Everybody needs one of those. And let's see. 166, nope, 103 is the first gumball machine. Trying to see if I saved the lot number for the embalming machines, which I don't think I did. I think I just, oh, there's one. 104 is the first one. Put this back up. Boom. Do you and Sandy go to auctions in person? Yep. We got one scheduled for this Saturday, upcoming Saturday. Seven Valleys, Pennsylvania, which is somewhere around York, Pennsylvania. So we'll be close to Gettysburg and close to Lancaster area. And by the way, tips for dealers out there, it is now cheaper to rent a pickup truck from Enterprise than it is from U-Haul, if you should ever need such a thing. I have been researching that part of Pennsylvania for retirement. I think it's a nice area. I think it's a very, very nice area. I would have to say, if I was to venture into Pennsylvania again, it would be that general area in between Lancaster to Gettysburg. Hot right now out there. Been watching the weather for this weekend since we're going to be out there, and yeah, it doesn't seem like it's chilly. And they actually get that part of Pennsylvania gets actually snow like we do here in southern New Jersey. They get some, but they don't get bombarded. Retirement. That auctioneer's voice rhythm is awesome. It is. I think Riv mentioned it earlier. It had a good cadence to it. Will you live stream from that auction or while on your way there? No, probably not live stream there. We may do like before and after. The other auction, I did share some photos on Facebook, a couple of them. I may do like a recap at the end as far as what was purchased. But yeah, I can't live stream at the auction. There's a little bit of thing there. Not only there's a little bit of stigma to it, but there's also a little bit of legality involved with it. But recap, there will definitely be a recap, if not only via Facebook. A little bit of there's a potpourri to it's an estate sale. So this upcoming auction, there's a little bit of everything. Coin operated penny tabletop electricity is life battery. Does that say opera? Alrighty then. It has a key. Oh, most of your coin op stuff, make sure you've got a key for it. You'd be surprised at what the key changes in value to the coin op machines. I already kind of knew this machine itself was going to pop. Right now it's at 750, 775. You can actually bid on this site before the auction starts. And it was already showing a lot of activity and interest. How shocking. And it's wow, it's really climbed up there. Rib, do you ever go to the live auctions? Or Mark, if you're still here. I like both. We're actually doing this from the comfort of my own home, where it's nice and air conditioned, and at the same time, it's I still like being there live. Imp Gumball Vendor Trade Stimulator. That's right. It's up to $110. It should fetch probably about high 200s, I'd say, to 3. But already it's at 110. It may not be in working condition. Try to see what that says there. Boop, 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 boop. Not working. Okay, never mind. You just chucked it down a couple $100. This is one we're watching. Current bid 10, 130, 140. Oh, okay, never mind. Working with key, they fetch about 350 to $400. Repair resto is really not hard on these. But for 170, once we hit half, I lose interest in driving in an hour and a half to go pick it up. It's actually a nice machine with the graphics still intact. If it doesn't have a key, how long has that bubble gum been sitting in there? Maybe say you haven't been to an in-person auction in years. Let me tell you about something else too about being in person. Is if you're traveling quite a distance, like we intend. Oh, here's the embalming machine. All right, hang on to that thought. 104 Antique CM Sorensen embalming machine. Right now it's at 60. No key. Those gumballs must be ancient. 70. Oh, I really want to throw a bid in. It's going to sell for $60. I'm not doing. My finger should be on the button. All right. Thou shalt not let the next one fly by. Buyer's remorse. Sometimes you have a buyer's remorse of not buying, and that was just it. That was a bargain. Anyway, getting back to what I was kind of alluding to, where we are going to the auction near York, Pennsylvania. If it's a long enough day, I'll use my points and we'll just stay overnight. Because sometimes driving out there, we're going to leave here probably about 5 in the morning. And then driving out and being there all day long, sometimes old guy around 5 o'clock in the afternoon is getting tired. So I think it's just safer just to stay over. Use the points or whatever and just find a place. We'll go prepared. I don't think we're going to let this next embalming machine go by. I don't think I can. Not with just seeing it, the last one being sold for $60. So what's an hour and a half? 90 miles. Both ways 180. 180 miles. 30 miles to the gallon. Six gallons. What's 6 gallons of gas? $20. Doesn't include tolls. Edison Gem cylinder phonograph. Right now it's up to $500. There is a British traveling phonograph player that is coming up in this auction. I could not find a comp on it anywhere. Adding machine. Fancy words. Adding machine. A computator. I don't deal with cash registers no more. I did one or two. They are heavy and they sit forever. This one's a little neater. It has more of a decor value to it, I think. Maybe not for $425. Mimeograph, number 1. Lot 109. Lot 112 is one we're watching. And after 112, we're probably going to take a little bit of a break. Because after that, we don't have some stuff coming up for a little while. And I need coffee refill. And hopefully I'll have to find out when the other embalming machine is coming up. Because, yeah, if the next one goes for right around the same price, it's a buy. The macabre. The gaudy and the macabre. I think maybe that should be a theme for the Emporium. The gaudy and macabre. Actually, sounds like a vaudeville team. Over at the Mount Kisco, they got a vintage white Tiffany ceramic basket weave tray. Okay, don't need to watch this no more. Vintage English traveling phonograph. I was thinking 50, 60 bucks we'd be in for. No, it's already at 225. People knew it and saw it coming. And like I said, I didn't get a comp for this. I couldn't find it anywhere, which always piques an interest for me. It's either one of two things. Either A, nobody wants it, or B, it's obscure. And I would like to say this is probably more in the obscure area. Which really, I think 250 is still not a bad price. We're going to be looking at a tabletop phonograph at this weekend's auction. And I think, again, anything under $100, we're a buyer. Current bid for the traveling phonograph is $275. Auctioneer, work it, auctioneer, work it. 300. Now he's and so far I really do like this guy. If you're actually listening to him, he's not begging for bids, he's entertaining bids, and there's a big difference. I never ever like an auctioneer who begs for bids, even though it's his job to try and sell it. I just think sometimes they spend too much time on one particular item, and it's like you're just beating a dead horse. Let the item sell itself. But anyway, all right, we need coffee refill. We'll be right back. Here, pay attention to this. Let me know if anything that I miss. We'll be back. Hi, Willie. I have a 90s word processor I'll sell you for $20. And all right, Rib, we'll see you. But anyway, yeah, I tell you, things are getting out of hand. Willie, you missed your chance for a Victorian era embalming machine. $60. Well, I should have been in it. But that's okay. There's another one coming up. And I think if the next one stays under $100, I just may have to bid. Have to. We'll see. I do have a mother-in-law. Practice. Yes. Typewriter. They just make my fingers ache anymore. Just looking at them. Remember in college doing term papers on an old manual typewriter. I gotta put this back over here just in case. But so far, the only really true bargains that we've seen so far in this auction, we were actually watching two auctions. We're also watching an auction from Mount Kisco, New York. It's a charity auction, and things seem to be moving okay-ish. There's been a couple of bargains at the Mount Kisco auction. This auction, the prices have been fairly moderate. Can't hear the auctioneer. That's because I'm silenced. But well, if you want, I'll put them on there for a little bit so you can hear them. But this auction prices have seemed to be fairly moderate. They're dealer-friendly prices, plus at the same time collector-friendly, meaning they're getting a bargain, but there's still
IBM would have
room on the bone.
You know, there's or whatever it would be. Wiccan Differ has the fart sound. 140, 150, 150, 140, 150, 150, 150, 160, 160, 160, 160, 140, 160, 170, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 160, 170, 170, 160, 170, 160, 170, 160, 170, going once. 160, 170, 180, 180, 180, 180, 190, 190, 190, 190, 180, 190, 180, 190, 190, 180, 190, 190, 180, 190, 190, 180, 190, 180, 190, 180, 190, going once. 180 about $190 going twice. Last call. Sold $180. Buyer number one.
There you go. Can they even be used? I think the trouble, you'd have to make your own ribbon anymore, I would believe. I think even in college, I had to reuse my old spools and had to buy basically modern, well, then modern ribbon for it and rewind it on the old spools. Do they even have typing anymore in high school? I gotta ask Allie. Next up, we got a motorboat. Oh, we gotta watch that. At first, I have to be honest, I thought it was a toy motorboat, or yeah, a boat motor. But no, it's actually a real live boat motor, which is strange because the gasoline-powered toy boat motors that they made in the 50s and 60s, believe it or not, command the same price as a real live motor. I don't know. Simplex typewriters, you get two of them. Current bid is $20. Bargain. Decor price. And wait a minute. I thought the boat motor was no. The boat motor is lot number 125. So we got 3 more to go. It's amazing though. Many still work well. I've rebuilt many outboards. They're simple. They're simple machines. And some people actually like them more. What's my brother got? I think he's got a Daihatsu, the 4-stroke. Spoiled. Don't want to mix gas no more. Antique, automatic bank punch, counter check puncher. I couldn't find any comps on this. Other than the core, I don't really know of anybody who collects these type of items. So I didn't really show too much of an interest in this thing, but I'm amazed. It's already got a bid of $120. That's automatic. Here you go. Everybody's vacuum cleaner. That's right. Imagine trying to vacuum with that thing. It sucks. No, I don't know. But Willie's at the auction. Sometimes I'll see Evinrudes, and I'm just amazed at some of the prices are going for. The older ones we're talking about. Johnson's. Area vintage Clark electric troller boat motor, outboard engine. That looks to be metal. Did I see 520? I sure did. 525 right now is the bid for this. 550. 575, 600. They're going to blow past their estimate. 625. I don't know. And where are you going to find space to display that? 700. I've got a 93 15 horsepower Evinrude. Runs great. Takes about 30 minutes to rebuild carb, which in the grand scheme of things is not bad. I think the last outboard I owned was a 25 horse Johnson. And that thing would run forever. It did die on me once. It died on in the middle of the bay. It died on me, and I don't know if it got the. I'm pretty sure what happened was the fuel line got clogged because I think the gas in there was ancient. And by the way, this motor is up to 875 now. Holy cow! Or it usually where it does, yeah. So I tinkered with that thing, and I couldn't find where that clog was. Got it nursing under low RPMs, and to get back to the dock, I bet you for maybe a 45-minute trip, I bet you to get back, it probably took almost 4 hours because that thing would only run with like a low RPM idle. Because if you requested too much juice from it, she'd stall out. Salt water, yeah. Oh, she was used. That thing, even when I had it, was probably 30 years old, 20 years old. Vintage Evinrude Alto Mate outboard. Right now, it's got a current bid of $350. That's it. We're going to start buying boat motors now. They're heavy. Who doesn't need a vintage baby stroller? I've only had one in the Emporium now for 2 years or better. I can't sell the thing. Yeah, everything on here is as is. As is, where is. Vintage fold art jumbo the elephant. No. Current bid $15. Decor. And see what we got coming up. Got another baby stroller coming up. Crockery's coming up. Got some beer paraphernalia coming up. That should be fun. Signage. And at 166, the other gumball machines start. 166, and we're currently on 130. 30 more lots to get through. Got some fire equipment like firehouse stuff. Got some fire axes. A logbook from Hillsborough, New Jersey, firehouse log. But things are moving right along. Anyway, gang. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. I think we are going to end the stream. And I may be back on this evening. There's some stuff over that we are watching over at highbid.com. And that has some interest. Some car parts and little miscellaneous. So we may be back on for that later on this evening. At some point today, I do have to cut. Well, it's not grass. I have to cut weeds. And but anyway, gang, thanks for all for tuning in, and we'll see you again. Probably be popping up, if not tonight, definitely tomorrow evening. So until then, try and stay cool. By gosh, is it hot out there?